hillside above a small village are sights you hope never to see. Led by their relatives, I was shown body after body scattered over the frozen ground. Most riddled with bullets, many terribly mutilated. All were ethnic Albanians, 3 brothers here who grew up together and died together in their 60s, trying to escape the attack on their village. As we approached the sunlit hilltop, the worst was to come. In a stony ditch, I counted 23 victims, mostly young men, the youngest perhaps 17, huddled together. Most had bullet wounds to the head. Slowly, those who had fled came here to find their loved ones. Look what they've done, she cries. It's a massacre. The villagers say these men were killed by Serbian police. Here to document the evidence, international monitors.
Second injury, centre forehead.
They are military men, but they are shocked.
This is not war as anyone knows it. These are old men, most of them in their work clothes. And I don't know who did this, but this is not normal.
The Serbian police attacked the village for at least 8 hours yesterday. There is no doubt that rebels fired back. The rebel leaders told me 8 of their men were killed. The Serbs say they shot several dozen terrorists in uniform. But these men wear no uniform and received no hearing from the police, who separated them from the women and children before beginning what one diplomat calls a crime against humanity.
As a layman, it looks like executions. It looks like people with absolutely no value for human life murdering these men who, to me, look like farmers. They look like workmen. They look like villagers who certainly did not deserve to die in this fashion. I don't care what the motive was.
In this gully, in the obscene way these men and boys have died, is a kind of proof. Proof that however much the Serbs talk of peace and ceasefire, the actions of their special police are brutally different.
Jesus Christ.
I have counted 40 bodies today, including one 12-year-old girl. War crimes investigators and NATO leaders have been alerted to a savagery that will have grave consequences in a country already riven by tragedy. Bill Neely, ITN, Reqakut, Kosovo.
What they all look like, though? Old man.
Mike? I'm working for the ambassador. I'm busy right now, right?
In the hills above Reqakut, where they slaughtered 40 villagers, the Serbian police are back, opening fire today in an unprovoked attack as villagers mourned their dead. They moved in early, officially to escort a Serb magistrate into the village. The magistrate never arrived. As they approached, in the village mosque, the victims of the last Serbian assault, row upon row, 40 bodies, fathers next to sons, 3 brothers together. They came to search, this man for his son. Their loved ones had been shot, most at close range, some mutilated. Their grief unbearable. The village was filled with their laments and the cries of children for their fathers. These people are crying out for justice. They're asking if the world cares about what happened here and who will punish those responsible.
Just move now.
Suddenly, gunfire. We fled the village. The Serbs were attacking again. I took cover. It was the start of 5 hours of mortar and gunfire. Then, across open ground, for the second time, the old men, women and children left their village. They didn't know which way to turn. The Serb police are now attacking this village in some strength with mortars and with heavy weapons, and they appear to be coming in from several sides, and they are clearly ignoring the pleas of the international monitors not to attack. Nearby, the monitors watched.
I consider this to be a very provocative act by the Yugoslav authorities, which has again broken the ceasefire.
We left under heavier and heavier fire. No one knows who the Serbs' targets are, but these villagers know who they were in these murderous days in Kosovo. Vilnili ITN, Reqakut.
Kronisen i djali manena me shku për shfat. Çanena? Kronisen atje çane ata sjell me disën kon anena. U shikyen kon midis, ata të kanë qite e kanë plagun, kanuni atë ka tërsat, ka të ke djali vogël që kanë me shikye kanë çu shikya në shtab atje. No, you tried that. We heard small arms fire. Yeah, all in the hills. No. But maybe to move a little bit. No, hold on. No, we're good. He's moving.
Okay, can you just please in this vehicle so that the press can photograph it. I consider this to be a very provocative act by the Yugoslav authorities, which has again broken the ceasefire.
During a lull and in an armoured vehicle, we went back. This is the centre of the village of Račak. The shooting and shelling is still going on. Behind me is the mosque where the bodies of the 40 villagers killed by the Serb police still lie. There is simply no one left in this village to bury them. These men are targets of the Serbs, rebels who want to free Kosovo from Serb rule. They took me to see where Račak's population now lives. The villagers have been on this frozen hillside for days now, with little to protect them against the biting cold. This man lost his son in the massacre, this woman her brother. They are afraid they will be next. There are at least 2,500 people scattered in small groups across these woods. These people haven't eaten for 2 days, but they're too terrified to move from here. The Serbs are openly defiant in their use of force against ethnic Albanians, breaking again today the ceasefire they agreed to. Late this afternoon, we went back into Račak to discover the mosque empty. The Serbs have taken away the bodies of those they had killed for an investigation.
We had verifiers on the ground, and we asked if we could go in with their investigation team. And the judge in this case flatly refused.
He's just over the crest of that hill, about 200 meters.
Have they got snipers up there?
So the monitors watch and wait for the next attack. Their leader now ordered out of Kosovo by the Serbs. And the defenseless watch and wait. They cannot leave. They are trapped. Bill Neely, News at 10, Račak, Kosovo.
Gunfire rings out in the village of Račak once more. Serb forces launched their mortars and machine guns from the hillside overlooking the Kosovan village. It's just days after the massacre here of dozens of ethnic Albanians. The Kosovo verification mission could only look on. They're in the breakaway province to monitor the fragile US-brokered ceasefire between Serb government forces and rebels. The deal was agreed to by Serbs in October under threat of NATO airstrikes, but it now appears to have crumbled. The Serbs continue to defy international calls to stop their assault against ethnic Albanians. The Serb paramilitary police moved into Račak early on Monday to carry out what they called a search of Kosovo Liberation Army guerrillas. They came heavily armed. Fighting had broken out in Račak on Sunday when Serb forensic experts tried to enter the village with a police escort, despite the warnings of monitors. The discovery of the mutilated bodies of 45 ethnic Albanians in a gully outside the village has raised tensions in the region. While Serb forces claim the killings followed a firefight with rebels, villagers say the men, women and a child were murdered in cold blood. NATO has led international condemnation, but on Monday Serb forces moved an anti-aircraft gun into position and fired on Račak. A verification officer said the Serbs seemed determined to attack and destroy ethnic Albanians.
They haven't pulled the tanks?
village, which is the old one mentioned, engulfed.
Serbian forces on the move once more, hundreds, heavily armed, taking over village after village. After 4 days of shooting, they attacked again today. In the hills around Reqakut, where they massacred 40 ethnic Albanians, they used heavy guns and pounded the area with mortars. This is the 5th day of shooting and shelling around this village. This morning the firing is particularly intense, but again we don't know who the targets are. As bullets whizzed overhead, we took cover and left Reqakut. Then finally, proof that this was a battle, that the rebels the Serbs are hunting are fighting back. Rebels fired on these men and there were casualties. A helicopter taking away 1 dead and 2 injured Serbian special police. Fleeing it all, however they can, the ethnic Albanian villagers. Some came down from the hills today after spending 2 nights in the open. But the Serbs are surrounding the valley and the villagers are frightened. International aid agencies are trying to help them.
I mean, the place is in total confusion. People don't know where refugees are hiding. People don't know where anyone is.
This 15-year-old is hiding. He was hit by shrapnel and his father killed in the Reqakut massacre. And this is the youngest survivor of that atrocity.
Mergita.
Her name is Mergita. She is just 2 months old. Her mother sheltered her from Serbian gunfire and then ran. Born before Reqakut became an infamous name, she is now perhaps the youngest refugee in Kosovo. This is one of 4 villages in the area now completely deserted. Monitors said this morning that 8,000 people were fleeing. After today's bombardment, there will be many more.
Yeah, it's a matter of fact.
The international monitors once again watched today's shelling, powerless to intervene. And they're now watching the start of a new refugee crisis. For these are the faces of fear, the faces of the dispossessed, victims of an onslaught, the face of Kosovo tonight. Bill
She takes me to the house where the other women are. Maybe we could sit together there.
Kemi nga shtëpia se jemi fregue pe bombardimeve që kemi dëgjue në Reqak. Para të arsye jemi largue, edhe jemi fregue. Për shtëpia tona, që ne kalon baba babgjësh tokën tonë, o duhem me shua me ike.
He's happy about the car. No,
Unë jam i menimit komplet, që që në ardhën, më në ilësu kërejt.
Edhe në qatë vend mi qu, ku i në kohë?
Por që si lëshojnë këtë, na nuk jem mas një për një.
Nuk e marë.
Dirty bird. I haven't seen for a long time.
Merci, on a de l'esprit.
We think that all the 40 bodies are going to be returned today, and the identification is made by members of the family, but also by relatives, by any people who are able to recognize the bodies.
Please. Miriam. Please talk to him when I do.
Ja kan 2 meter aan worden. Ja, 2 meter aan worden. Je moet.
Yani, yani. Just give us a little bit of room to walk, please. That's all we ask. Just a little room. Allahu Akbar.
Thank you.